I guess it's time to do a video on some Starbase stuff. So, let's get to dancing. Hello, fellow Starbasians. I'm not exactly sure what the nomenclature is for people in the Starbase universe. Hello, fellow robots, I suppose I would say, because we're all robots. Welcome to this tutorial video in the first of the Starbase tutorial videos that I plan on doing. Hopefully there is lots more content to come in this series. Do not worry though, I have not forsaken Dual Universe. In fact, I have another ship test coming up with a battleship. No, an aircraft carrier. A recreation of an aircraft carrier, which we're going to be doing later on. Should be up tomorrow. But for today, I have some tips and tricks that I want to feature that will make your easier life better. That was not clear. To make your life easier in the Starbase universe. So these are some things that I have found to be very helpful that the game does not really go into. So let's get right into the bread and butter, so to speak. All right, let's talk about a few basic tips to get you started before you go off into the wild or cloud thing. So whatever station origin you started at, you can see that all of the origin stations are just lined up around this ring, and you can pretty much go to either any of them. However, your inventory is stored on the station that you're origined on. So be aware of that. You may not be able to move everything. People crashing ships. Lots of that going around. So, this area right here where you have the repair, mining, and demolition shops, the repair one is not working, so we won't talk about that one. But the mining and demolition here, you can actually go into if you're looking to make some money or you're just bored of mining out in the asteroid belt. You can start jobs at both of these areas that will pay you in game credits. So that could be helpful if you're just looking to make some money real quick. And all of that stuff. Another little tip that I found the other day, as told to me by somebody, in walking mode, this does not work in your spaceship. In your spaceship, it's only first person mode. But if you want to go into third person, if you hold down Alt and you scroll your mouse wheel, you could shift into third person here. Which can be fun if you want to play with some of the emotes that are available in the game. Like if I want to vomit. Nope. Sick? Shit, I don't know what it is. But this little button right here, you can see all of the emotes and click on any of them. Oh, it's puke. Okay. Yeah. I don't know how robots are puking, but we can do that, right? So if you want to ever look at what the emotes are, there's like 5 different dances that you can do. So a lot of fun stuff. Next, we are going to head over to the station store, which is somewhere around here. Alright, so we're over here at the store. It's the big building that says store on it. Now, inside here, you're going to see a lot of shops. And you might say, why aren't these shops working? There's nothing in here. I see guns, I see things, but I can't buy any of them. Why is there no screens on these shops? Well, this is kind of a leftover from the closed alpha where they just had shops where you could buy everything, so you didn't have to learn anything. You could just kind of buy things and get going. They have disabled that because they want the game to develop organically and through players, putting stuff on the market and setting things up and all that good stuff. However, there are two things that are worth mentioning in the shop, and that is the sell area. So when you come in the door that's closest to the landing pad, you'll see this cell right here. Now, this is all of your inventory, so everything on these screens is specific to you. There could be other people here. You won't ever see their stuff. You'll only ever see your stuff. So let's go first person again because it's easier to use these screens. So the screens on the outside, on either side, are the same. This is your station inventory. So if you look at your storage, this is your station storage. And you can see all the stuff in there and how much you can sell it for. So this is how you would make credits if you just want to go about selling or to make a profit. Some stuff is worth more than other, like this corrodium ore is worth 5,400. And so is the, well, no, I guess that's the most expensive thing to sell would be the corrodium. And then the Nergite's like 3,800. So you can make some money doing some ore selling. Ooh, why does this one say 27,000? Are these like the finished product? How did I get that? Oh, maybe this is like to sell all of them? I guess. Huh. It seems to think I have some in ore form or processed ore form, but I don't. Well, whatever. I'm not gonna mess with that. So this one in the middle is your inventory. So you can look at your storage that's in your personal inventory, and I guess this is some station inventory too, but this is materials in your station inventory. So this one is just ore in your inventory, and this one is all of the stuff that you've crafted that you can sell. So I've just been crafting these 4 ore crates to get my skills up, and you could just sell those off if you have an excess of them. You just click on them, click sell, and you're good to go. Right, and then this is all the equipment in your inventory. You do not want to sell those unless you just don't really want a buzzsaw. But that's that. The other thing to note in the store is if you go upstairs, which if we go in here, we have a little walkway here. If we go up to the second level, and we go to the right, I believe, we will come to the auction house, which is just a few screens that say auction. And if we go ahead and click on those, that opens up the auction house interface, and you can go ahead and scroll through the different categories and see what you can buy. So we can get a basic YOLO chip for 10,000, some ducting, and we look at equipment. We've got some armor here for sale. No backpacks yet. Somebody selling their building tool, etc., etc. And if you have stuff that you want to put on the market, like you want to sell your ores on the market instead of just downstairs in the instant sell thing, you could put them up here. And you do that, just you go to sell and you drag from your inventory onto here. So if we put this over here, we get the lowest auction house price, which is 5,000. We have the highest auction price, and we have the medium price that it has been selling for, which is 6,996. So if you wanted to beat the lowest price, you need to sell it for like 4,999. You can put that in here and create auction, and it will go on the market. And you can also see how many of each of these is selling for each category. So there's 5. Oops, see, somebody just put one on for 4,999. So that's the way that goes. Let me drag this back out of here. And that's how the auction house works. So that's 2 things you should note in the store here. The third thing is kind of outside the store. I didn't know there was a 3rd level here. The third thing is kind of outside the store. So we'll go ahead and get to the exterior if I can find the stairway again. There it is. All right, back over by the cell area. If we go out the door here towards the landing pad, you'll see there's a screen right here. If we go up to this screen, these are the station teleporters. I have only found 2 of them, but the way they work is you'll have a bunch of empty slots here that you can register. And when you find one of these, you basically click on it, you click bind, and that adds it to the board here. And then that is a place that you can transfer to. And if you click transfer, you'll go there. So I have found this one, which is right by the cell area of the door. And I have not found many other ones, but there is one in the easy build that I will show you right now. So if we click on that and we click transfer, boop, instantly right to the easy build area, which is going to take a minute to load in now. And we'll come over here just so stuff can load in and start spawning. So if you're in the easy build area, if you're looking out towards the either side, so if you're looking at the closest number 10, or if you're on a different station, it might be 9, 8, 11, 12, 14, whatever. If you're looking at this number here, that's the closest one, and you turn to your right, it's on that wall back there. And if you're looking at the further away number, you'll turn to your left. But it's all the way over here in the corner, and same thing, you just click on the area, whoop, and you click bind, and that adds it. If you know where any of these other ones are, feel free to put that down in the discussion area. And I'm assuming at some point somebody will put a list out that lists where all of these teleport stations are. So far I've only found these 2. Another thing to take note of on this station is the ship shops. There are quite a few of them. If we go out here, well, let's go up to the roof here. Let me switch my tab, right? There. I have to look at that chat. Okay, so let's go up here. Over in that corner, you can see K-Bot, which is a ship seller up on these top pieces. So up above the 10s, there's a bunch of ship shops up there. Same thing on the other side. There are a bunch of ship shops up there. And likewise in the outer areas, you'll see a few. So you have like the green ones up there. You can kind of see the green, right? There's a couple more up on that side. And yeah, just go around, take a look, and you'll be able to see kind of all of them. So let's talk about refueling. So these stations, these purple ones with the little canisters kind of on them that say refill on them, these are your refill stations. They are all over the origin stations. And the easiest way I have found to use these is to despawn your ship, go ahead and land on the pad, and then respawn your ship. That way you get everything lined up nicely. Bleh. And so we'll go ahead and spawn our labor module. There it is. And the way this works is we go ahead and on the side here, hit G to turn off my things. We're going to go ahead and connect to that. And then we're going to go ahead to the resource point on the top of our ship and connect to that. And that creates a link between the two. And now you can see on the screen is all lit up, and you can see that it says connected. And we can just go ahead and click buy all, boop, and it will refill all of the propellant and all of the power. And you got to kind of do it quick, because for some reason it just like it just like loses the connection after a second for some odd reason. So what does that do? That refills the propellant and some of the power. That is this number right here. So what is this though? You may say, and I've seen this a lot. People go, my fuel chamber is not refueling even though I use the refuel station. Well, the refuel station is only going to refuel your propellant. It does not refuel your fuel chamber. So this should actually say fuel rod, not fuel chamber fuel. Though I guess that's the fuel in the fuel rod. So I guess it's good. So what we're going to do is going to turn off our generator and we'll talk about fuel rods. So on your ship, on the back of your starter, you have 4. Apparently I'm missing one. I'm missing 2. Huh. How wonderful. It's okay. They're cheap to freaking make, so I don't really care. But if you have not learned the skill yet to refuel or make fuel cells or fuel rods, as they're called, they're going to be back here on your ship. You should have 4 of them. They come free with the module, and you can just refill them. So what are we going to do over here on the generator? We're going to go ahead and click E, and we're going to pull that fuel rod out. Now, if you can see, it's attaching. You get that clicky sound, right? That means that it is in snap mode. So we want to make sure snap mode is on, but if you hit C and you're just doing this and it's not snapping to anything, you can hit C to turn it back on. So C is your snap on off when you're carrying things. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring this back here. And you can toss it if you want, or you can keep it and refuel it later. And we're going to grab a new one. We're going to go up here, and sometimes it is a little tricky to get it to go in. And what I've found is to just kind of get near it and then use the middle mouse scroll wheel to move the thing backwards and forwards until it kind of snaps in there. And then as soon as it snaps in, you just hit E again, and it is in there. And that is how you replace your fuel rods. So how do you get your fuel rods into your inventory, you might ask, in order to replace them? Well, if I take this one that we just stuck back there, what I'm going to do is hit P. If you are carrying something, P is the default key to put it into your inventory. So if I hit P, it's now in my inventory. If I open my inventory, you can see that it is here in my backpack, and I want to make sure that it's in the station. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this over here. And now it is in my station storage. So that's how that works. And once it's in your station storage, if you've learned the crafting for that, you can see down at the bottom here, I now have this fuel rods lit up 1, and I'm not near a crafting bench, so it's not going to let me do it. But it just takes 83 Nergite kV to refuel one of these. So if I go to the crafting bench, I can just refuel it, and then I'll have a full one in my inventory. So you have to have an empty one and the Nergite in order to use the refill. But it gives you 3 options. Like, this is just the fuel rod, this is the fuel rod full, and this is the fuel rod refill. So you get all 3 of those when you learn that on the tech tree, which is K, right? So it's this right here on the tech tree. So once you learn that, you get access to all of the fuel rods, plus the little modules to store them in these cool things, and these come with full containers when you spawn them too, I believe. Yeah, basic 2 T1 fuel rod and rack. So if you're making a ship and the easy build is actually working for you, you can add more fuel rods and storage to your craft. All right. So we'll go ahead and despawn this ship again. Boop. And as long as you despawn your ship when you're at the station, you can go to any of the Station L launch pads. So you see L, 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 L. Those are all landing pads. You do not have to land your ship. You could just despawn it anywhere on the station, and if you go to the landing pads, you can just respawn it again. Try not to leave your ship out somewhere, because it could despawn on its own. I mean, if you have to log off in space, so far I've been lucky, but I know some people have logged off in space, and their ship's not there when they come back, and then they've had to death spawn back to the station, which if you don't know how to death spawn, it is this insurance transfer option right here. Will get you back to the station, and then they've had to come back here and tow their ship back, which could get costly if there's a bunch of ore in it or something else, because I think tow is based on weight. So let's talk about a few tips that can help you out while you're out in the belt mining. So first of all, let me go ahead and get to the next little asteroid here. And my first tip to you would be turn off your cruise. You should have learned about that in the tutorial if you didn't skip it. Because it's a little bit easier to maneuver when you can just let off the gas or tap the gas. As opposed to cruise, which you have to just like hold the brake to make it go down. So I always turn off the cruise control when I'm in the ore fields, and that could help you out. My number one tip for being out in the ore field when you're first getting started and you haven't learned some of the later skills on the tech tree is turn off your generator when you're getting out of your seat. That keeps your fuel chamber or your fuel rod, as it is here, from continuing to burn while you're out of your seat. Now the ship does come with 4 extra fuel rods, but you want to kind of conserve those as much as possible. Basically, I was down on my last fuel rod by the time I got the skill unlocked on my tech tree, which is K, right there. So once you learn that, you can go ahead and refill your fuel cells, and I'll talk about that again when we talk about fuel cell replacement in a bit. But here's something you might not have known, right? So you're breaking these things apart. Let's say there's stuff in your way. You can actually grab these with the E key if you break them apart enough, and just chuck them out of your way in order to get to the ore that you want. So once you do that, you can just break them ore bits apart. But it's not so bad on like these rocks, but some of the other rocks out here get in your way. Even though you're smacking the ore, it's just not moving. This one's pretty good. All the pieces just started floating away. But if you're trying to get to the ore, you can grab these and just chuck them. And as far as like chucking them, some of these asteroids, the outer shell is actually worth things in building. So like in ship construction, ice is actually a valuable resource. You don't need a lot of it, kind of like 3 stacks for most like starter ships to go ahead and build. But it is useful, so it's not to be discounted and just chucked out there. Some of the other things like agitite, I forget what it's actually called. It's the ore that's around the red crystal type deals. That is actually very useful. And then the vocare ore, that's around the Vokeem crystals. That's around the Vocarium. That is kind of... no, the ore that's around the Bastium is kind of... I haven't found a use for it yet. Apparently it's used in station construction, so that's further down the line. So I just chuck it out of my pack. And also, you know, if you're picking up something that you don't want, you can just chuck it out of your pack here, and it shows up. Oh, now that one's in my ship. But I can just grab it and move it. See? There you go. I don't know. I guess your pack converts all of your ore into cubes. But that is a good deal. Get in the seat. Alright, turn my generator on, go to the next rock. Now, if you're looking for a specific ore, you can kind of determine what's going to be in them by the outer shells. And you'll just get that from experience in mining out here. You can kind of see which stuff is in which stuff. Like this is a gray rock, so it'll probably have the red ore in it. Yep, anytime I see this I grab it because I don't come across this so much. But the red stuff is great, and the actual asteroid shell itself is worth something too, like I just said. So we'll grab that. Now something else you might run into, say you're hitting the rock and nothing's getting hoovered into your backpack. So why is this not working? It's just cracking and it's not doing anything. Oh, the game is bugged. Ah! One of two things. You're either not attached to your point, which you can see I am because I've got the little beam there. You're not attached to your resource point, or you somehow hit the T key. The T key is a toggle for your suit, kind of. So you can actually hit it and turn off your backpack functions. Later on, backpacks have like multiple functions, so you can hit T to toggle them. But when you're just starting out, so if I hit T, whoop, there we go. Everything's getting hoovered up again. So don't immediately consider that it's a bug if you are not scooping up the ore. And my last suggestion, as far as ore goes, is to turn off your boots. And that can be toggled with the G keys. So by default, you have your magnetic boots on, which let you walk around. It can be a pain if you're trying to get to like ore that's close to your ship, because your ship's going to continuously try to pull you towards it. And if you're on a bigger asteroid, the asteroid is going to try to pull you down towards it. So let's say there's a piece of ore right here on top of my ship. And my ship keeps pulling me down towards it. But if I hit G and turn off my magnetic boots, then I can actually float EVA style just free. So when I'm out here mining, I always just hit the G key and turn off my magnetic boots. And that is the tips I have for mining. Alright folks, well that's all I have for today. As I get more into this game, I will put out some more tutorials. I plan on getting into the ship design workshop stuff, which is a really cool option that lets you build a ship in kind of like a in-game CAD environment, where you can you have access to all the parts and everything else. So it's kind of like a sandbox free build mode. I guess you would call it like creative mode. And you could just put a ship together and then save the blueprint and then spawn the blueprint later. And you have a ship. So that is how that works. So that is something I plan on getting into with content, and if I come across more things that just like, oh my god, that makes my life easier, I need to share that with people, I'll put out some more videos. If there's any like tutorials that you'd like to see on specific things, I can do that as well. Just leave some just the comments down in the comments section. If you like this video, please don't forget to put the thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed and you'd like to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified every time I post a video. Until next time, I'll see you out here in space. Stay safe, my friends.